Coffee Break Chinese Season 1, Episode 40. 大家好，欢迎来到 Coffee Break Chinese， 我是马克。
Yes, indeed. 欢迎来到 Coffee Break Chinese， 我是 Crystal。
很高兴和大家一起学习中文。 We're delighted that you're here with us to learn Chinese, but can't quite believe it for the last time in this series.
Yeah, I'm very sad.
How would you say that in Chinese?
难过。
Nanguo, of course. Yeah, I should remember that because that features in the dialogue today, doesn't it? Well, this is the end of our first series of Coffee Break Chinese, and we have been together for the past 40 episodes, which have actually been broadcast over the course of 2 full years. And we really hope that you've enjoyed these episodes. As you know, in the past 10 lessons, we've been following my trip to China, where I went to China to try out my Chinese and to experience the country for my first time. And it's been a fantastic experience. And hopefully you've been enjoying learning more Chinese through the dialogues that I recorded with Hongyu, his family, his friends, and with people that we met in China. We have an interesting dialogue today as I was getting ready to head off at the airport. 准备好了吗？
开始吧。
So as usual, we'll listen to the whole dialogue first. And there's a little bit of English in this dialogue as Hongyu explains some things to me, but there's lots of Mandarin. And we'll then go through the whole dialogue with Crystal afterwards. Let's have a listen.
好的，听一听。
我们到机场了，你怎么样？
我很好，但是我很难过。
哦，为什么？
因为今天我去苏格兰。
Mark, here you not say 去, you say 回.
Okay, so that's for going home, returning. 回.
对。
So could I say 我回苏格兰?
是的，我们在中国很开心。
How would I thank you for your hospitality?
有点难。You could say 谢谢你的热情招待. Try that.
谢谢你的热情招待。
Very good. 不客气，你的中文越来越好了。
谢谢你帮我学中文。How would I say sometimes I make mistakes and my tones are not very good?
有时我会说错。
I'll try that. 有时我会说错。
Good. 有时我的声调不太好。
So 声调 are the tones.
是的 tones.
I'll try saying it. 我的声调不太好。
Mark, 没关系，你的中文进步很大。我们跟很多人说中文，我们看了很多风景，吃了很多中国菜。
再说一遍。
好的，我们跟很多人说中文。
Okay, so we with something people spoke Chinese. We spoke Chinese with lots of people?
Yes, that's right, Mark. And 我们看了很多风景。Can you guess what's that mean?
看 is something about seeing. Because if I'm just looking, I say 我只是看看。
Very smart. 我们看了很多风景。风景 is scenery.
So we saw lots of scenery.
对。And the last part is 我们吃了很多中国菜。Mark, can you guess what that means?
I think that would be and we ate lots of Chinese food.
That's what we did. Yes. Good. 很好。
Okay, I'm going to try some things now. 我们去了故宫、长城，还去了天津。我们吃了北京烤鸭、包子，还有火锅。
是的，我希望你过得开心。
我听不懂。
I hope you've had fun.
I have indeed. 我希望我可以再来中国。 我想去上海和广州。
欢迎你再来中国。你的飞机几点？
我的飞机6点一刻。My flight is at 6:15, so I think it's time for me to head through security. I will therefore say 非常感谢，再见。
再见，一路平安。Have a safe trip. 再见。
And I headed off to check in for the flight, well, to go through security for the flight and headed home. It was a sad farewell, but it was nice to have a final conversation because I kind of felt that I had made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
And I think Hongyu's help in China, and of course your help here, has helped me build up my Chinese. I'm very, very pleased with how much I understand now. Obviously, I've got a long way to go.
Yes, you certainly have made great progress.
Well, let's go back through this conversation. Obviously, some of the parts are already in English because Hongyu's explaining things, but there are a few questions that I want to ask you about, Crystal. So let's go back.
Yeah.
我们到机场了，你怎么样？
我很好，但是我很难过。
哦，为什么？
因为今天我去苏格兰。Okay, now, as we know, I got a little bit wrong there, but we'll come to that in just a moment. Let's begin by looking at what Hongyu said.
我们到机场了。
So we've arrived at the airport.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he asks me how I am.
你怎么样？
I said that I'm very well. However, I am 难过.
Sad.
I'm sad. Yeah, I'm sad. And Hongyu asks why.
为什么？
Well, I explained that today I'm going back to Scotland, but I didn't get this quite right. Let's listen to the little section in which Hongyu helps me. 因为今天我去苏格兰。
Mark, here you not say 去, you say 回.
Okay, so that's for going home, returning. 回.
对，
So could I say 我回苏格兰?
是的，我们在中国很开心。
Okay, Hongyu's saying there, 我们在中国很开心. Can you explain 开心?
开心 means happy.
Happy. Okay,
Yes.
we've seen that before.
Yeah.
I think, it's just some words escape me when we're looking at them again. But yeah, we've been very happy in China. We've had a good time. And then I want to ask Hongyu a useful phrase that hopefully our learners would find useful if they've been staying with someone in China. Let's have a listen to this section. How would I thank you for your hospitality?
有点难。You could say 谢谢你的热情招待。Try that.
谢谢你的热情招待。
Very good. 不客气。
Okay, so Hongyu uses an interesting phrase here. I heard him saying something about nan, difficult, but what does he actually say?
有点难。
So what's that?
有 literal translation have.
Have, yeah.
点 a little bit.
Oh, as in
难
一点?
difficult. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have a little bit of difficulty, is that?
Yeah, it
kind of
means it's a bit difficult.
It's a bit difficult, okay. So, of course, my question is, how would I thank you for your hospitality? A phrase that I'm sure our listeners could find very useful.
Yeah.
How do I thank you for your hospitality? And he gives me the expression.
谢谢你的热情招待。
Can you explain 热情招待?
Yeah. 热 is hot. 情 is something from your heart. So you're warm.
Yep.
招待 hospitality.
Right. Okay. So thank you for your warm hospitality. So I have a go at saying that. And Hongyu replies, 不客气. Actually, no, he doesn't. He says, 不客气. So second tone and then 2 fourth tones. 40 lessons and I'm still getting my tones wrong. I suppose that's natural though. So don't mention it. He's replying to my thanks there, obviously. Okay. Then Hongyu continues and he tells me a little bit about my Chinese, despite the tones.
Yeah.
你的中文越来越好了。
That's an interesting expression. I think he's saying that my Chinese is good.
Yeah.
But is there something
he
else?
said 越来越好了。
Right. So what's this? 越来越.
越来越 it means the degree is getting, higher and higher. So in this case, better and better.
Okay. So more and more good kind of thing, which obviously is better and better. So can you use that with other adjectives?
Yes, you could use with a lot. For example, 越来越难了.
So it's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah.
That sounds like Chinese.
Yeah. For example, 越来越美了.
So more and more pretty.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a useful phrase. So my Chinese apparently is getting better and better according to Hongyu. And I then tell him that he is helping me with my Chinese. Let's listen to this next little section and we'll just let it play because obviously there's some English in here and Hongyu's helping me with some words. So let's have a listen to this section. 谢谢你帮我学中文. How would I say sometimes I make mistakes and my tones are not very good?
有时我会说错.
I'll try that. 有时我会说错.
Good. 有时我的声调不太好.
So 声调 are the tones.
是的 tones.
I'll try saying it. 我的声调不太好.
Mark, 没关系，你的中文进步很大.
Right, Crystal, let's talk about this section. First of all, if we go back, Hongyu used a word, did he say 有时?
有时, yeah.
That's sometimes.
Yeah.
So can you give us the phrase he gave us for sometimes I make mistakes?
有时我会说错.
Right, so 会说 is can speak.
Wrongly.
So 错 wrongly.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Have we come... Yeah, we have. 不错.
不错, not bad.
Not bad, yeah. So sometimes I can speak bad in bad speak. So 有时我会说错. And then sometimes my tones are not very good.
有时我的声调不太好.
So this word 声调 are the tones. Does it mean anything if we separate it up?
声 is like sound. 调 is the tones.
Right.
So my sound tones,
不太好.
not very well.
Not very well, not very good. Okay, so I can now say 有时我会说错. 还有有时我的声调不太好.
You are very modest.
I think these two phrases are possibly the most important phrases that we've covered in this entire season of Coffee Break Chinese, because I think it's the kind of thing that learners like me would be very keen to say that sometimes I don't speak very well, sometimes my tones aren't good.
But don't worry, because people understand you. They know the context anyway. Mark, did you pick up what Hongyu said about your 中文进步?
Right, so what's the I know 中文, obviously Chinese, but 进步.
Progress.
Right, so I think he said 你的中文进步很大. So very big. You've made very big progress with your Chinese. Okay, good. Right, we are going to go on to talk about some different things. Hongyu is going to tell us about what we've done while we were in China, but we'll do that after the break.
好.
We'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that you can get more out of your Coffee Break Chinese experience by signing up for our full course on the Coffee Break Academy. In addition to the audio lessons, you'll get access to bonus listening materials, lesson notes, and video versions of each lesson, showing the Mandarin words and phrases written out in Pinyin and Chinese characters. You can find out more at coffeebreakchinese.com. Okay, so at this point, we are having a little chat. I'm in the airport, heading off for my flight very soon, and we've been talking a little about, I guess my improvement with Chinese, how I've developed over the past 40 lessons, and of course my week in China. At this point, Hongyu tells us a little bit about what we did in China. Let's have a listen to this section.
我们跟很多人说中文，我们看了很多风景，吃了很多中国菜。
再说一遍。
好的，我们跟很多人说中文。
Okay, so we with something people spoke Chinese. We spoke Chinese with lots of people?
Yes, that's right, Mark. And 我们看了很多风景. Can you guess what's that mean?
看 is something about seeing. Because if I'm just looking, I say 我只是看看.
Very smart. 我们看了很多风景。风景 is scenery.
So we saw lots of scenery.
对。And the last part is 我们吃了很多中国菜。Mark, can you guess what that means?
I think that would be, and we ate lots of Chinese food.
That's what we did, yes. Good, 很好.
Okay, much of that was pretty much explained as we went along, so we don't really need to go through this in detail. Is there anything that you wanted to pick up on there?
Probably, just to analyze that, what he said that you've done in China. For example, 跟很多人说中文.
So with many people speak Chinese.
And then he said, 我们看了很多风景.
So there the le is going after the kan, which is making that the past part.
Yes.
So we saw many or much scenery. I think he described
right.
Fengjing as scenery.
And 吃了很多中国菜.
So again, the le is coming straight after the verb 吃了. We ate much Chinese food.
对.
Okay, now it's my turn to say some of the things that we did, and I'll be referring back to my famous Forbidden City that I always come back to because I like the word. Let's have a listen. Okay, I'm going to try some things now. 我们去了故宫、长城，还去了天津。我们吃了北京烤鸭、包子，还有火锅。
是的，我希望你过得开心。
我听不懂。
I hope you had fun.
Okay, so there we've got the kaisin again, the happy, the fun part. But let's just go back through what I said. I said we went to the Forbidden City.
我们去了故宫.
We went to the Great Wall.
长城.
And we also went to Tianjin.
还去了天津.
Then I mentioned some of the things we ate.
我们吃了北京烤鸭.
And what else did we eat?
包子.
So the baozi are the steam buns filled with something, yeah?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, and we also had the famously huo guo, the hot pot, but we'll not say any more about the hot pot.
No.
And that, of course, we heard there the chule and the chule, the two different Q sounds and the CH sounds that we spoke about a couple of episodes ago.
So, Mark, when you were in Tianjin, did you try the famous 包子?
We were only in Tianjin for a short afternoon and we had some recordings to do, so we didn't really get the opportunity to do that.
So you didn't have the very famous called 狗不理包子.
Is that something to do with a dog?
That's right. Okay.
I'm scared to ask now. What's happening?
But it's not the dog meat. Okay.
Good.
So the story goes like there was a very, very famous chef and he was so concentrating on making 包子. So when people passing by called his name, he didn't answer because he had to concentrate. Therefore, his 包子 was top quality in China. And in Tianjin, that's the brand. So when you go to Tianjin, you have to taste 狗不理包子.
So, Crystal, where does the dog part come in there? I'm not following this.
Yeah, the dog has nothing to do with the animal dog. But it's the same character. So this chef's name is 狗子. That's his nickname.
Okay.
So 狗 means him. Yeah, this person. 不 means not. 理 respond to someone.
Right, so he's so busy concentrating on making his baozi that he's not responding to anyone.
Yeah, leave me alone, I'm working.
Right, and so this is a delicacy of Tianjin.
Yeah, totally.
I'll need to remember that the next time I'm in Tianjin.
Yep.
Okay, right. At the end of this part of the conversation, Hongyu says, I hope you've had fun. I don't understand this at first, but let's hear the expression.
我希望你过得开心.
So I get the hope you, 我希望你, I hope you.
过 means spend. 开心 is happy.
Happy. Okay. I hope you've spent a happy time here in China. Right. I then go on to say that I hope I can come back to China again using this 我希望. Let's have a listen to this section. I have indeed. 我希望我可以再来中国。我想去上海和广州。
欢迎你再来中国。
Okay, so at this point I was departing for Scotland. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But I said that I would like to come back to China. 我希望我可以再来中国. So I hope I can return to 中国. And I said 我想去上海和广州. So I would like to go to Shanghai and Guangzhou. And I've got a little bit of an admission here, Crystal. I've got to admit something. I was indeed leaving Beijing, but I actually was going home via Shanghai. So while I said I would like to go to Shanghai, I was actually going to Shanghai immediately. But that was a holiday. It was just a couple of days in Shanghai.
Why not?
To experience the city. So I got to see both Shanghai and Beijing. So I'm sorry I've not told you about that before now.
没关系。
But I have never been to Guangzhou, and I would love to go to Guangzhou next time, and many other places, actually. Okay, so Hongyu then says, welcome back to China. You're very welcome back in China.
欢迎你再来中国。
Okay, and then we get on to the practical things. When is your plane? Let's listen to the final section of the conversation.
你的飞机几点？
我的飞机6点一刻。 My flight is at 6:15, so I think it's time for me to head through security. I will therefore say 非常感谢，再见。
再见，一路平安。Have a safe trip. 再见。
Okay, can you just explain this? 一路平安。
一 means one, 路 the journey, the whole journey.
Yeah.
平 is peace, an is peace. So have a safe journey.
Right, okay, so 一路平安. And is that the way you would say bon voyage? Is that the kind of typical expression? Lovely. 一路平安. Okay, let's have a listen to the whole conversation one more time. And of course, now you'll understand absolutely everything.
我们到机场了，你怎么样？
我很好，但是我很难过。
哦，为什么？
因为今天我去苏格兰。
Mark, here you not say 去, you say 回。
Okay, so that's for going home, returning. 回。
对。
So could I say 我回苏格兰？
是的，我们在中国很开心。
How would I thank you for your hospitality?
有点难。You could say 谢谢你的热情招待。Try that.
谢谢你的热情招待。
Very good. 不客气，你的中文越来越好了。
谢谢你帮我学中文。How would I say sometimes I make mistakes and my tones are not very good?
有时我会说错。
I'll try that. 有时我会说错。
Good. 有时我的声调不太好。
So 声调 are the tones.
是的 tones.
I'll try saying it. 我的声调不太好。
Mark, 没关系，你的中文进步很大。我们跟很多人说中文，我们看了很多风景，吃了很多中国菜。
再说一遍。
好的，我们跟很多人说中文。
Okay, so we with something people spoke Chinese. We spoke Chinese with lots of people?
Yes, that's right, Mark. And 我们看了很多风景。Can you guess what that means?
看 is something about seeing. Because if I'm just looking, I say 我只是看看。
Very smart. 我们看了很多风景。风景 is scenery.
So we saw lots of scenery.
对。And the last part is 我们吃了很多中国菜。Mark, can you guess what that means?
I think that would be and we ate lots of Chinese food.
That's what we did. Yes. Good. 很好。
Okay, I'm going to try some things now. 我们去了故宫、长城，还去了天津。我们吃了北京烤鸭、包子，还有火锅。
是的，我希望你过得开心。
我听不懂。
I hope you've had fun.
I have indeed. 我希望我可以再来中国。我想去上海和广州。
欢迎你再来中国。你的飞机几点？
我的飞机6点1刻。My flight is at 6:15, so I think it's time for me to head through security. I will therefore say 非常感谢。再见。
再见，一路平安。Have a safe trip. 再见。
Well, like every other episode of Coffee Break Chinese, you'll be able to access the bonus materials for this lesson, which include a full transcript of our conversation, both in Pinyin and in Chinese characters, and of course, extra lesson notes explaining the words and phrases contained in this lesson. We also have the video version of the lesson where you're able to see the words and phrases on the screen of your device as you listen, and the bonus audio materials which we're just about to record, and those are translation challenges based on the words and phrases covered in this lesson. You can find out about all of that at coffeebreakchinese.com.
Don't forget that you can follow Coffee Break Chinese on social media. Just search for Coffee Break Chinese on Facebook. We are at Learn Chinese on Twitter. And you can also keep up with the Coffee Break team on Instagram. Just search for Coffee Break Languages. Post a comment and let us know how you are getting on learning Chinese with us.
Well, Crystal, that's it.
This
is the end of season 1 of Coffee Break Chinese. It has been a pleasure learning Chinese over the past, almost 2 years now that we've been recording this and putting this together. And for our listeners, it's been a pleasure working with you all.
Absolutely.
We really hope that you've enjoyed the experience. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you've enjoyed this course. We are not yet exactly sure when we'll be doing more Chinese, but we look forward to further lessons in the future. But for now...
谢谢大家，再见。
Thank you once again to everyone. Thank you for your enthusiasm and your contributions to all our social networks and so on. And thank you for joining us on this journey in learning Chinese. 再见。
再见。
You have been listening to a production of the Coffee Break Academy for the Radiolingua Network. Copyright 2017 Radiolingua Limited. Recording copyright 2017 Radiolingua Limited. All rights reserved.